No, you the man.
Nope, I'm the snowman.
You already know it would not be my channel if I did not do a Christmas childhood movie. So today we are talking about Jack Frost. Now, I don't know how many of you guys watched this as a kid, but for me, this was a movie that I pretty much watched most Christmases. And watching it as an adult, I'm going to say it still held up just because there were so many more adult jokes in it that I never realized when I was a kid. And watching it now, I'm like, oh my goodness, what? And also, I feel like this is a movie about loss and kind of learning how to be okay with it, because I honestly feel like a lot of our childhood movies had like really big lessons to kind of share with us, to kind of help us know how to deal with stuff. And in this movie, that's pretty much what you see here. In case you forgot what this movie's about, you have a kid, Charlie, and his dad is like a musician, and his dad is pretty much like a absentee dad. Like, he comes into town occasionally when his group is not touring, but he doesn't make time for Charlie. Like, he prioritizes his career over his son and his wife. And so Charlie's just like, he just wants his dad to be there. Like, he loves his dad to death. He's just like, that's my guy. And so the dad ends up dying because the dad has a moment of clarity where he's realizing, I need to prioritize my family. Like, they're more important than any career ever could be. And so he like drives home to try to spend Christmas with them. So he ends up dying as he's driving home. Then a year passes after his death, and the dad happens to come back in the form of a snowman. And so it's pretty much just like Frosty the Snowman, but in movie form, called Jack Frost. And the reason it's Jack Frost is because that's what the dad's musical group was called back in the day. And I just think it's really entertaining. Like, it was a movie that I vividly remember watching when I was younger, and I don't remember the first time I saw it, but I know, like, Jack Frost, like, it was a classic movie. And the crazy thing that I think is actually really cool is if you look at the snowman, like, that Charlie makes at the year after his dad died, it legit looks like his father. Like, it is very similar. And I was like, I don't think I've ever thought a snowman can look like a person, but for some reason it looks like his dad. And I just also like how his dad came back to spend time with Charlie, because that's really what Charlie wanted, time with his dad. And so he got that. And so towards the end, he was kind of okay when his dad actually leaves again, because he's like, I actually got time with him, and I'll always remember that. Like, that's what I really wanted. I was also kind of tearing up because it always gets me when the dad is like melting, and when he was alive, like, he didn't make time for his son, and so Charlie had asked him to go see one of his hockey games, and his dad's like, yeah, I'll be there, and he was at the studio, so he missed it. So as a snowman, he's like, I'm gonna keep my word, I'm gonna do everything in my power to go see him. So he's like melting because it just happens to be hot that day, and he makes it to see his son play his hockey game. And so I'm not gonna lie, that got me. And then like Charlie realizes like his dad is gonna die again because he's like melting because it's too hot there. So he's like, we gotta take him up north so he can survive in the snow. So Charlie is like rushing to save his dad, and he gets like a bully involved who's like, I never knew my father, but he's like, even if your dad's a snowman, this is cool. So he like helps him out too, because it's the importance of fathers. And there's just so many lessons I feel like with this movie. I'm saying it still held up. It gets a thumb up. And yeah, let me know if you guys remember the movie Jack Frost. It was definitely, there were some moments that I thought were funny, but there were a lot more adult jokes in this movie that I did not realize when I was younger. So the premise is kind of like out there, but at the same time, I think this is a movie that has some really interesting lessons in it, and just kind of, it was such a good childhood movie. Okay.
This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.